Hello everyone, and welcome to my presentation on Web 2.0 utilized in the classroom. Three areas I'm going to talk about are assessment, engagement, presentation. The tools we'll be using is Poll Everywhere, how to make QR codes and the use of QR codes, and then flipping the classroom through the use of YouTube. My name is Jim Gurcsik, and here we go. All right, Poll Everywhere. Poll Everywhere is a tool that you can insert questions into PowerPoint slides, or you can use it for Google Slides. And what happens is you can ask a question during the presentation. It's displayed on the screen, or you could display it through a website on polleverywhere.com. You can collect live data as the participants use their computer, phone, or their tablet to give their response. And then you have instantaneous visual results displayed on the screen that are also anonymous. So you can see and gauge where your students or the people that you are presenting to are at currently. Some pros. You have instantaneous feedback. You have the ability to alter the presentation following the responses. So if you have a question such as, would you like me to re-review the last slide? And you have a lot of responses saying yes, you can go back to the last slide and give more information. If you have a lot of answers that say no, you can move forward from there. It integrates well with PowerPoint, Google Slides, and it all is anonymous. Some of the cons are that it's a free version. You can pay to have a better version that has better tech support, and you could increase your audience size from over 40. We have audience sizes up to 3,000, I believe, but that's a paid for a subscription. Each individual needs a device to participate. Okay, I'm going to exit out of here and I'm going to show you the Poll Everywhere website and how to create one. So I'm going to start by going to, this is my same slideshow, but on Google Slides. I have Poll Everywhere downloaded here, but I can't integrate it into PowerPoint yet because I don't have permission from my administrator on my school's device. But I could show you on here how it works. So we are at this stage. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do a Poll Everywhere. We're going to do a new activity. Okay. This is linked into my Google account. I'm going to do a multiple choice. And then I create my question. Okay. Now you can add your responses. I'll do yes. Do no. You can add another response, such as other. And you can also move these responses, whichever way you want. And if it's a question that's going to dictate a correct or incorrect answer, rather than a poll, you can use it like a question, just like that. There's some other different options up here. And you can engage in them a little bit later on, but we're just going to start with this. Now you hit Insert. All right, now the Poll Everywhere has been activated. So what we're going to do is, I'm actually going to do a presentation on this slide. Present. Okay, and in here it'll tell you the directions on how you're going to do it. So you're going to go onto Poll Everywhere and then my name 564 and then you text these responses. Okay, so I'm going to exit this and I'm going to bring up Internet Explorer. Right now I'm splitting my screen. On the left side is my presentation view. On the right side is the side that the audience would see. So you select the response. I'm going to go with yes on this side. And over here on this side it should yield the response. Might have to refresh. We'll go to presentation, see if it yielded that response. Okay, now it has yielded a response. So the presenter would have the screen up the whole time, but it would show the responses based on percentage instead of you can do percentage of the whole entirety that have responded. So it would be 30, 30, 30 if you had 3 people choose each of the options. And another way to do it is I can clear my last response. If you were to say no here, then we would go back to the original slide and go through the information again and get back to that question. I could show you how it works on here. So if you're not embedding it into a slideshow, you could still go to polleverywhere.com, which would be, say this is my logged in site. I go to my polls, and this is the one. See how it's green? That means it's active. This would deactivate the poll. This would reactivate the poll. And this is showing the one that we just created in that Google slide. So I'll click on that. Okay. So the reason I don't use Chrome again is because I'm already logged in as my own name. So I'm utilizing just an anonymous one responding as a random name to see if my poll's actually working. So I can clear my response. Should refresh on this side. Add my response. Typically, you don't have to refresh every time, but I think my internet's a little bit slow at the school that I'm at. And there's a response that we just chose. Okay, so I'm going to minimize that. I'm going to exit out of here. And I'm going to go to play from current slide. All right, so Poll Everywhere. The way I'm going to integrate it into my program, which I don't currently use that much, I'm going to use it during PowerPoint presentations to gauge students in real time. So if I'm giving a PowerPoint presentation to my students, I'll be able to see where they're at throughout different polls during the PowerPoint presentation. I wish I could have one integrated into this one that I'm showing now, but unfortunately, it's not installed yet on my PowerPoint device. You'll be able to poll the students instead of counting surveys. So if I have a survey of what's the next topic we would like to learn about, whether it's chicken butchering or beef butchering, we can do a poll through there, and I don't have to count surveys. It's automatically going to break that down for me, and instantaneous. And once again, instantaneous assessment while making it interactive and more fun for the students. All right, next section I'm going to be talking about is the integration of QR codes, how to make QR codes, what they are, and how I currently use them as a presentation method. So a QR code is an acronym for a quick response code. It's similar to a hyperlink, but there's no need to actually click on it if you don't have a computer. You use a device to scan it. So it's scanned via a device or a webcam, and I'm going to show you that a little bit later on. It redirects you to either a text, a URL, website, contact info, and even more. I recently was on my restaurant's network, and I had a customer that needed the network username and password, and I didn't remember it. But when I opened it up on my phone, I had a QR code for the customer to scan my generated QR code, and it automatically connected to them to our Wi-Fi, bypassing the password. So it's pretty neat. It's not often looked at as an educational tool, but the possibilities of using this to apply into education are endless. And it's used in my world right now, used by students to scan and watch presentations, demonstrations, and soon I'm going to be adding it to connect to the Google Classroom so they can go to a piece of equipment, scan the equipment, and take an online Google Forms test after watching some of the material, and either pass and use that equipment or reevaluate it later. Okay, so some of the pros, it's great for increasing the availability of the curriculum because it's out there for anyone. If I have a parent that wants to come in to learn how the kids make coffee in the classroom, they could scan it and see one of the students actually doing it or myself demonstrating it. It alters the ability for presentation and delivery of material. I can have my 25 students all scan 25 separate QR codes while I'm in an IEP meeting, and they can all be learning 25 separate lectures simultaneously, which is great. It's free to create. They're active and static forever. And with the new Android and Apple update, if you were to open up just your camera application and look at the QR code with that, you can click right on it and it'll activate right away. So you don't even need a QR code reader. It's integrated already into your cell phone's camera. Some of the cons are most generators don't label the QR code that it's referencing. So once you create a bunch of these QR codes, it's hard to keep track of what they are. So I use the snipping tool and I label them. It makes it easier for me. I'll show you that later on. And sometimes they're difficult to scan if you blow them up too big or there's too much information. It's hard to scan if it's a small size. So I'm going to exit out of here. I'm going to show you how to make a QR code. So QR codes are pretty widely available. So what I do is you just go to QR code generator. They're available free all over the place online. I'm going to create a QR code here, and here are your options. So what I use most of the time is I use YouTube. So what I'll do is I'll YouTube how to make bread. And if this is something we're going to be talking about and I want them to learn a faster, no-knead way to make bread, what I do is I click this link here, I copy that, and I go to the URL, paste it right in there, and you can see the adjustment on this side. This is now the QR code for that. What I use is this tool here. It's called the snipping tool. It's on a lot of computers. What you do is do that and do a little new clip here. And I'm going to do copy that word. Paste it in here, and that's going to be how to make bread. And then if I want to do that again, I can space that out there. All right. Oops. That works for me there. And then what I could do is go back to my snipping tool, do a new one. That's not what I want actually. Snipping tool. Copy that, and I can insert that into a learning guide or some kind of online format. The students can then scan that and watch that YouTube video that was available online if that's something I approve and that's something that I like. Another cool thing is you can use this as an exit ticket. So this week we have a banquet on Friday, so students have to cook for that. So I just write. You can see it adjusting on the right side there. So basically that's that. Capitalizes it, even changes right here, and I can have a QR code on a second screen. They could scan that on their way out and be ready to go. Just like that. So you can also do exit tickets, notes, have this available on your website for parents to scan. So that's pretty convenient there. Like I said, you can share contact info, phone numbers, stuff like that. Okay, so moving forward, getting a little lengthy here, excuse me. Exit this, QR code generator, minimize that. Okay. Back to the current slide. So the pros and cons we went through. My integration, I'm already using it, so I'm putting it. I'm going to try to integrate it even more. I'm going to put it on pieces of equipment for safety. I'm going to link it to safety tests, setup, use of equipment, and breakdown. It's going to be used in the physical learning guides to incorporate links to quizzes, additional articles, and video links. That's something maybe I didn't create myself. It's the ability to offer a different level of rigor or curriculum to all students. So if students are an average student, they could scan through the curriculum. If they're maybe an above average student and they want to go into maybe an area that's more advanced in your curriculum, they could work forward. And if there's students that want additional help, they could scan QR codes over and over and be able to evaluate that material multiple times. So if I have a level 1 student that comes back the next year, forgot how to use the slicer, they could scan it and re-review it. It increases student-driven learning, which is great, and it can do links to exit tickets. Next one is going to be utilizing YouTube to flip the classroom. So like I said, scanning those QR codes can go to a YouTube link, and we can utilize the time that the students are at home to watch and review material so that they're ready to apply that information right in the classroom when they come in. Okay. So the pros of YouTube are it's free digital content, access to others' content, able to be reviewed multiple times, and you can upload content, user-submitted stuff. The cons are user-submitted uploads aren't always reliable, and you also need a device to connect to the internet. Okay, so what I'm going to show you now is I'm going to open this up, and I'm going to talk about a QR code reader. I'll do an online one. Online QR code reader. So like we were talking about QR codes before, this integrates into the YouTube right now. These are free. There's links everywhere. Let's see here. This is actually one that I prefer, web QR. Okay, so what you do is, hey, that's me there. You hit scan, and you have a printed version of it, maybe from a learning guide or something. Scan it, pops up. You click right there, and this opens up whatever that QR code is. So this one is me doing a demonstration on how to use this piece of equipment, how to assemble it, like that, how to use it, how to break it down, the safety procedures and whatnot. So I'm gonna exit out of there. So what I do is I started this QR thing with students scanning them on site, but they got more advanced. So I'll say, okay, tomorrow you're going to be operating the fryer, so I want you to scan that as your exit ticket and review the information at home so you can come in and apply it right in class, so we don't have any wasted time side by side with things. But there are students that still need additional support. So I have a second video here that's going to show you a student actually using the equipment. Hopefully. That's the wrong one. I'll scan a new one. Sorry about that. Student actually using the equipment and the QR code, which is Web 2.0, simultaneously. So here are the two students working together. One student, there's a QR code posted. Sorry, it's a little small. So there's a QR code posted right there. It's literal cut and paste. And then the video that they're watching that we just viewed, and then them discovering a new learning technique. And that goes on and on. Okay, I'm going to exit out of there. Okay, so my integration of using YouTube to flip the classroom, video referencing to reinforce the hands-on component, but they could watch it at home. They save time while utilizing a more fun homework assignment, more interactive for them. So they save time because they're viewing this at home. When they come in to the shop, they can hit the ground running with whatever content they viewed at home. It's an alternate opportunity for learning also. So my final thoughts here, this is making education more fun and making the curriculum more accessible to all levels of students, and that's our goal, to be able to, at times we feel as teachers that we need to separate ourselves in a million different abilities, but by utilizing this we can give 25 different presentations, lectures, quizzes, assignments, whatever it may be, simultaneously while we're working one-on-one with another student. It also opens up more advanced learning methods, makes it possible for students to spend more time with equipment in shop and less time pen and paper, which is not really the application of what we're doing in my curriculum currently. I want to thank you for viewing this, and if you have any questions, please let me know.